Hey everybody, it's Eric from GameShampoo.com. Check in from PAX yet again. Back in the hotel after a successful day 2 of PAX. And I have a day 1 summary of PAX, which I made last night, which I have not been able to completely upload yet just because the process of actually processing a video takes so long. But now I'm here doing a day 2 recap. And it was a crazy day, just like the first day. I'm all hyped up on all kinds of like energy shots and whatever, trying to maintain focus and be awake and moving my hands like this. And I just saw a ton of stuff today. Yesterday was a little bit more about getting on the show floor and getting my hands on the games, and in turn I ended up getting a ton of swag. If you go back and watch the first day recap, I showed off some of the swag that I got that day, and if you wait around another day or so, I should have a video up just compiling all the pieces of swag that I got throughout the entire convention, yesterday, today, tomorrow, and I'm going to be giving every single piece of that swag away. So, just like yesterday, I'm going to start off with a little recap of what I got today. Since I spent most of the day in panels and not on the show floor interacting with the publishers and the PR folks, I did not get as much swag today. But what I got, at least a decent amount of it, is exclusive to PAX East, as far as I know. And honestly, I mean, I got a lot of t-shirts and stuff yesterday that were really cool, and I got, a couple pins and whatever. What else is over there? The Elder Scrolls Online cup and the poster are pretty cool, and there's the Capcom shirt over there that's pretty neat. But a lot of it's just t-shirts, so I feel like this stuff is kind of like the stuff I got today. You'll see it's a little bit more interesting, but let's start off with the t-shirt that I got today. This is a t-shirt for the Elder Scrolls Online. It's in kind of like heather gray, so I don't know how well. Yeah, you can definitely see the logo on there. So it's got the logo on the front, and then it says the Elder Scrolls Online on the back. And I picked this up at a party tonight, an after party that I will talk about in more detail in just a second. But this is a really nice shirt. It's really cool. And Bethesda was just giving them out. And it's super soft, so I kind of want to keep it, but I already showed it to you, so I'm going to give it away to one lucky person. Also at the party were these coins, which again, stretching out, I will show these coins in great detail. And just notice that it says trademark 2013 on here. The world of Tamriel is very slow to advance their coin technology, apparently. But I got these metal coins. They are themed on the currency that players use in the Elder Scrolls Online or in Skyrim. Similar coins. I have 20 of them here, and thinking I'll probably just send all 20 of the coins to one person, or maybe send like one coin to everybody. At a certain point, I just have so much swag that like everybody gets some freaking swag if I do that. Figure out what to do with those coins, but I have a bunch of them, and they are really cool. So I might as well just launch into the party thing now. But I went to this party, which was open to the public. Bethesda was heavily advertising it yesterday and throughout today, and it was in this castle that is down on Congress Street. I think it was Congress Street, but yes, in this giant castle, and they had the coins which they were giving out, and which you were apparently supposed to exchange for things like caramel popcorn and hot dogs and beer, ale, and photo opportunities with people who are kind of like cosplaying characters from the universe and stuff like that. I didn't realize that you were supposed to trade in the coins. You would go up to this table and they would give you 20, I guess, as kind of a way to keep you from just going up and repeatedly taking food and all this stuff and beer and whatever. But I didn't see anybody like taking coins or anything when I went up, so I just took food and beer and whatever. And so I still have all 20 of my coins, so I'm gonna give all those out to somebody. It's kind of a cool collector's thing. And also on hand at the party there were gameplay demos, there were dancers dressed as orcs and a Khajiit, and Nords, and the various races of the Skyrim universe, and or of the Elder Scrolls universe, I should say. And like these giant wooden tables, and the coat check was like the fur check. It was in this giant fake like cabin building, and it was really cool. It captured some video from the party. It was pretty dark in there, like intentionally, kind of to simulate being a candlelit event, since obviously there's no electricity. I tried to get into the spots that had the best lighting when I was filming live stuff, like the dancers, or there was like a sword dance that went on for a little bit with two people kind of like parrying, thrusting with swords at each other. There's a live band playing folk music, and I tried to capture all that stuff as best as possible with the camera I have. Do not have professional lighting equipment with me or anything like that, since primarily I'm here as a writer and not as like a videographer or anything like that. So try to do my best to capture all that stuff and make it all legible. I think it's all like perfectly legible to see, and at least it's just not like professionally lit or whatever. And I also captured some gameplay of the Elder Scrolls Online, off-screen gameplay, which was kind of weird because I got in there and I walked over to this area where there are all these demo stations set up, and there was what looked like a public demo station set up over to the side on these big TVs, but they were just playing the same little like gameplay trailer over and over again, and nobody's actually playing on it. So I wandered over to the large demo station on all the PCs, and went over and said, hey, like, is it cool if I film a little bit, just like a minute, 2 minutes while you play, and when you stop doing interesting things, I will stop filming and just kind of wander away. And people were like, yeah, sure. So I captured some gameplay, a little bit of exploration stuff, a little bit of the in-town and conversation stuff, and then yeah, I just kind of like wandered off, played the game a little bit, have some impressions of that pretty soon, and then wandered off, got some food, took some pictures that I will hopefully have up on the site, or maybe compile into a video, or maybe both at some point, probably tomorrow. And then I came back over to see if I could maybe capture some more video or something, and they had fenced the whole area off, and there were like these big guards over there, and they stopped me from going in. They said it was a VIP only area, and that despite being media, I apparently did not qualify as a VIP. I don't know if there was like a payment that you had to make, or if you had to get on a certain guest list or something, but I don't know if I was supposed to be where I was before, and I also don't know if I was supposed to be capturing video in there, but it did it, so I'm gonna upload it and see what happens. It should be fine. I mean, I played the game too. I read about that. They have public demos set up, so it should be fine. Anyways, that is the Bethesda party in a nutshell. I'm gonna have some pictures up of it. It was really cool, and that's where I got these coins from, and that's where that shirt came from. And now on with the swag. I have a lot of League of Legends stuff, courtesy of Riot Games. So got these two pins here. Again, I'll do a close-up of these in another video. This is kind of just a summary. They're really nice quality though. Two pins for somebody. I've got two League of Legends wristbands. I got one orange and one green. And finally, my personal favorite, 3 Bioshock Infinite pins. Each one of them represents a vigor in the game, and it has the image of the vigor kind of emblazoned on the pin. So that's the swag I got today, and that's what I'm going to be giving away in a couple of days. Now, as for what I did today and what you can expect to see going up on the site, which is www.gameshampoo.com/magazine, that was a lot of stuff. Like I said, I did not venture onto the show floor at all today. It was all panels. And I have written some of them up already. I've written some of yesterday's panels that I did not get a chance to write up. And the rest of it should be going up later tonight. So, I first got in and I started waiting in line for the Bioshock Infinite panel. And while I was waiting in line, and this is kind of a recurring theme throughout the day, I was able to write up some of the stuff that I had not been able to write up before. So the first things that went up today were kind of the leftovers of yesterday. There's an Assassin's Creed 4 gameplay preview up on the site now, which includes some pretty exciting stuff. A first look at the underwater gameplay, which is definitely a first for the Assassin's Creed series. Especially, you know, it's an especially big step when you think about the fact that if you fell into the water in the first game, you just dropped dead mysteriously. And it looks great. It looks really cool. So definitely check that out. It's maybe, I don't want to say like maybe one of my favorite things of the show, because the show's not over yet, and I have so much awesome stuff to see tomorrow on the show floor. But so far, I'm really impressed with the underwater gameplay, so you're gonna want to see that. Watch Dogs gameplay impressions are up, and first story details, so you get to find out who the protagonist is, why he does what he does, and kind of get teased as to who his enemies are. So that's really fun. I also have an impressions article up of Octodad, the Dadliest Catch, aka greatest game ever made. This is a bizarre physics-based kind of game with a lot of slapstick humor in it, in which you are an octopus pretending to be a human being who is married with children, and so you go around and like mow the lawn and put on clothes and stuff like that, but because you're an octopus with pretty much no bones in your body, you just kind of flop around limply, and everything is incredibly challenging and ridiculous and dumb, and it's a lot of fun. So I would really recommend that you read the preview and check the game out on Steam. It just got through the greenlight process, so a lot of people seem to enjoy that. I spoke with the CEO of the company being Horses. Blanking right now. It's going to take a minute. Young Horses Inc. Is the company, and the CEO's name is Phil Tibetowski. I think that's how you pronounce it. Spoke with Phil and got a little bit of the background info on the Greenlight campaign and what they're bringing to the table with this new game, and it looks pretty neat. It's very funny, so I would recommend that. Is recommended reading along with everything else that I write. So, and I did attend the Fuse panel, and I did not actually write up impressions of that game, which I have. I know what Fuse is. I've seen the game in great depth. Got details on skill trees, powers, co-op play, single player, story, release date, all kinds of stuff. So much stuff that I haven't had a chance to write it up yet, but I did put up a quick post about Gearbox's Randy Pitchford crashing the Insomniac panel to kind of back up his bros at Insomniac and their decision to move to a more realistic and gritty art style from the cartoonish Overstrike art style that they first debuted Fuse with. And he kind of talks a little bit about the process of bringing Bioshock from realistic to, not Bioshock, Borderlands, from realistic to cel shaded, which was a really nice surprise. He was in the panel the whole time apparently, and he just popped up in the Q&A session. I keep getting words confused. Bioshock and Borderlands. Yeah, I'm really tired. I don't think there hasn't been a night so far out of the 2, so it's not like, it's not where I've slept more than like 3 hours, and it's getting kind of crazy. So I'm starting to realize that I'm up for like 21 hours a day, whether it's like going on the show floor or showing up early so I can get in line. Like the Blizzard panel, I had to show up really early to get in line for that. Tomorrow for the Gearbox panel, I'm showing up even earlier than that. And so getting up early to go to these panels and then staying up late to go to the after parties and stuff like that so I can bring you all this awesome swag that I grabbed there. And then, I've got to come back and then write up all the stuff that I did that day. It's getting like super hectic. So the stuff that I'm going to be writing up today, after I go and eat my like 4th meal of the day and take another energy shot, is the fuse thing, and I'm gonna write up the fuse panel. I'm gonna write up an Indie Mega Booth interview that I did that was really, really interesting. If you are developing an indie game, if you're interested in the process of taking a game from concept to final product, if you know somebody who's developing an indie game and you want to hook them up, check out the interview when it goes up. It's really interesting stuff, and I know the Indie Mega Booth and all the indie games they have on that half of the show floor are looking like they're going to be one of my favorite things about PAX when I check them out tomorrow. But it's just really, really fascinating stuff. So I'm going to put up that interview and a story. What else is there from today? Bioshock Infinite details, of course. I spoke with the game's community manager, and I got some information about launch events that are going on across North America. And I posted an article about that already today. But we have so much more in the way of details from Ken Levine, and then from the voice actress and motion capture actress for Elizabeth. It's really cool stuff, and it seems like they're really trying to take AI to the next level in video games. So it's really interesting and kind of humbling, really, to see just how much they struggled with this AI stuff before they finally got it right. So Bioshock Infinite, Fuse, Indie Mega Booth, and there's also going to be a League of Legends article regarding the improving player behavior in League of Legends panel, which I was in attendance of, and which, funny enough, threatened to get pretty toxic at one point, which kind of demonstrates a point that as soon as the QA kicked off, people were shouting at each other to shut the fuck up and stuff. So you got a long way to go, maybe, right? But good luck. I'm rooting for you. So those are the major things that I have yet to put up for today. And if I go and grab my phone real quick, I make sure there's nothing else that slipped my mind. So all this stuff is very cool and very interesting, but you see it all in such quick succession, it can be hard to make sure that you really got it all and internalized everything. But yeah, that looks like it. League, Fuse, Mega Booth, and then Bioshock. And then of course all the stuff I've already put up today regarding Bioshock, Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, Randy Pitchford, Fuse, all that cool stuff. So that's today, Saturday, and tomorrow, Sunday, the last day of PAX. I'm really going to be trying to get everything in that I haven't gotten in so far. And there are some things on the show floor that I really, really want to play, and I just haven't been able to do that yet because, it might be really interesting to me personally, but then from like a readership perspective, it's like, well, yeah, Assassin's Creed 4 and like Watch Dogs and like Borderlands, like, yeah, that stuff's gonna get the hits. So that's clearly what I'm gonna go for first. I still haven't seen Transistor, except for that brief glimpse that I got yesterday. Other things that I would like to check out include all the games at the Indie Mega booth, Super Time Force from Cappy Games, Remember Me from Capcom, and Pikmin 3, which is at the Nintendo booth, and which I didn't even see until I just so happened to be walking over the show floor and this bridge that's like kind of bordered by glass on both sides, and I looked down and I was like, is that Pikmin 3? And yeah, I did not even know that was there, and it looks pretty cool. But I don't know if I'll be able to get my hands on all of those things and bring you previews of all of those things, because I am spending the entire first half of my day tomorrow in the Borderlands or the Gearbox panel, which I expect to primarily cover Borderlands. And then I do have a panel that I am kind of interested in checking out, which is the next generation of sports gaming. And I don't personally play many sports games, so, and I've always kind of been under the impression that when a new generation of consoles comes out, some company like EA will just kind of rip all these features out of their sports games and then slowly add them back in one by one to kind of give the impression that they're making progress when really they're just treading water. That's always been kind of the impression that I get, so I'm kind of interested to see somebody who actually plays sports games and who's actually kind of in the industry a little deeper than I am, try and give their opinion on that, because maybe I'm wrong about it, I don't know. And it'll be interesting to see where they envision the future of the genre going when we've got this like weird Wii U gamepad and the weird PS4 controller with the little like motion hat thing on it, and the next Xbox has the Kinect built right into it supposedly. We're getting some weird stuff next generation, and it's all very different, so it'll be interesting to kind of get those kind of like more educated opinions on it and see where it might be going. I don't really want to play all that stuff too. So that's day 2. I'm going to call that a day. And I'm going to go write up everything that I just talked about. So stay tuned for day 3, and stay tuned for the biggest giveaway in GameShampoo's history, as we have tons and tons of swag. We're going to have to requisition a backpack specifically for swag on the way back home. So thanks for watching.